The blues, rock and roll, Elvis, B.B. King, ceremonial ducks, pyramids, pink Cadillacs? Must be Memphis. So a few years ago, we had the opportunity to go and visit Memphis, Tennessee after being in Nashville. So we actually took a Greyhound to Memphis and we stopped off at Jackson on the way, which is really cool. And when we got to Memphis, it was pretty much all about the music, all about the barbecues and restaurants, and it just had so much to offer. But we were really there to see, from a guitarist point of view, some of the most iconic spots. So we stayed in a neighborhood called Cooper Young, and we quickly realized that this is a very hip neighborhood, lots of live music going on, and it was just a great place to hang out. We went on to Sun Studios, which was the main attraction for us, I guess you could say. And when we got there, we were not disappointed. This place was built in 1950 by Sam Phillips originally, and pretty soon after that he discovered Elvis, and that's where all of the music industry changed forever since he started recording there. But there's also real notable artists such as B.B. King and Johnny Cash, who also started there. So it's so iconic, and it's so great to go on the tour there. They've got all the memorabilia, lots and lots of things to see, and you're even allowed into the very live room in the recording studio where Elvis and all those other big names once stood. And you're even allowed to use and hold the same microphone that Elvis once used. So it's well worth seeing. It's a really great tour. And from there you can get a shuttle down to Graceland, which of course is where Elvis's home was. And he bought this place in about 1957 and moved his family in there and all of his entourage. And this place you've seen before, I'm sure, on TV or on the internet. It's so iconic. It was actually quite a lot smaller in real life when we saw it, because I guess back then things weren't as big as what things are sometimes built now. But it was an amazing tour. It was as it was left in the 70s. There was loads and loads to see. From a musical point of view, there's a big museum across the road as well to have all of his memorabilia, and they even have all of his planes as well, which you can actually go and visit. So Graceland was certainly something that I'll always remember, and I'm so glad I got to see it. Of course, it is also where Elvis and some of the members of his family are buried as well. And interestingly, you can actually visit this for 1 hour a day between 7:30 and 8:30 in the morning, because in order to have a, what would you call, graveyard in a private residence, it has to be open for at least 1 hour a day. So there you go, you can actually go and see it for free. So it's obviously quite sad when you're there, thinking how young Elvis actually was when he departed. And obviously recently it's been very sad with what's happened to Lisa Marie. So with Memphis, there's certainly a lot to do once you head into the downtown area. And we were lucky enough at the time to see the Gibson guitar factory, which is no longer there now. It was there from about 1999, year 2000. And a few years ago, it actually moved back to Nashville. But we were lucky enough to go on the tour there, and we were not allowed to video inside, but we did get to take some pictures in the front lobby, and you're able to try out loads and loads of different guitars, which I certainly did. Lots of their Gibson 335 type models, and they also had the acoustics there from Montana as well, which is where their factory is. So this is well worth seeing at the time, but unfortunately you can't see it anymore now. Hopefully they'll start doing tours in the Nashville factory and in the Montana one too. And then from there we went into Beale Street, which of course is the iconic blues and restaurant district, and this is where you can get amazing food, amazing drink, that real hot Memphis barbecue chicken style. And this is where people like B.B. King and so many others would have first started. So down Beale Street from the 50s onwards, this is where they had all those iconic blues bars, jazz clubs, you name it, it was all going on down here. And it's a fascinating place to see. A lot of it still looks the same. Not really much has changed. And I'm pleased to say there's still a lot of live music happening there as well. So Memphis was a real great trip. I'd really recommend it to anyone who is not only a guitarist, but anyone who enjoys any of that musical history. And what can I say? Tennessee, what a state.